Welcome back to Nihongo Portal. I'm your host Akira,
I'm Donovan.
And I'm David.
and this week we are back with a brand new topic of a bunch of video game stuff. First, we're starting off with, I guess, recent topic of a lot of things launched basically this past several week.
Lots of hype for the video gaming industry. New
Yeah.
consoles, new graphics card.
That's all out of stock instantly,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
hasn't even launched it. It's already out of stock.
Cyberpunk has been delayed yet again. Yeah, actually,
Wait, was
I don't
it?
know. I don't know. I'm just speaking.
I mean,
out
I
of
thought
my
it was
ass.
already 2021.
It's like I remember it coming out like September.
It says right here, initial release date 2020.
Oh.
Oof. Well, yeah, it got delayed at the beginning of quarantine. Then they said
November 19 now.
even later.
Yep.
I remember getting pushed back to like right around tomorrow.
I think the first time it was pushed back to like either
I think it
this
was
month
today,
or the month
actually.
before.
I think it got pushed back to like September 18th or something. I remember it because it was. I mean, it's the day before my birthday, so I was like, oh wait. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And then we're already here.
And
yes.
here we are.
Dude, fuck.
Happy
That's
birthday.
like, thanks. It's just
Yes.
so much thing happened but not happened this year, and it's so weird. You know.
I'm still
It's
bracing
just
for
all
summer.
it is anticipation for something to happen, but it doesn't actually happen.
Yeah.
It's like everything, any event, everything so far happened this year. It happened right at my desk because I was not outside. It's just like, does this year really happen? It's already September. Wait, are you sure about that?
Dude, I feel like it was like it was only winter, like legitimately
Yeah,
months
literally.
a month ago.
Like yesterday, I was going outside and then I was putting on my mask. I was like, "Fuck, I hate it so much." You know, it's only gonna get hotter. Wait, summer kind of ended already. I've spent the whole summer wearing a mask already. Like it was such a moment for me where I was like, "Fuck, summer ended." Kind of. Oh, it's not gonna get
Goddamn,
any
dude.
hotter from now on.
Yeah.
Now
I
have
had
to
the
wear a
same
mask.
feelings.
Except
Again.
in San Francisco, it just gets super hot in the fucking August to
Oh, yeah.
late September.
So right now it's like unbearably warm.
We've gone like fucking what's it called, 22 Celsius evenings. So it's just like holy shit, how do you sleep?
And the sky turned orange. That
Bruh.
actually happened last week.
What's up?
Oh yeah, that was
Oh
a big
yeah,
thing.
right. Orange skies, like like a
Yeah.
blood moon.
So I was talking to my other friends that lives in San Francisco, and they were complaining about how you're not able to wear a PM 2.0.2. Oh, what I forgot which.
2.5.
Yeah, those you're not allowed to wear those masks in San Francisco apparently, or United States.
Because it doesn't actually it doesn't filter out viruses or like pathogens.
I mean, but like right now, I mean,
But-
or like last week, you would have wanted it, wouldn't you?
It's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because it's you have to worry about coronavirus, but also the fires are ruining your lungs. But if you wear the mask to protect it from the smoke, you're actually not protecting yourself from the virus.
So either way, your lungs kind of are fucked.
Yeah, the best thing was to
Either
stay
way,
home.
you're gonna get compromised in some regard.
Yeah, I mean, that really sucked. At least that's kind of clearing out now. I think it's not
Yeah.
orange anymore. At least so.
Yep. We've got clear skies. Oh, I think it was
It's mild pollution.
only 2 days ago that I was able to go out, go to work, and it's just like, oh hey, blue skies.
Yeah. That's that sucked. But PS5, I haven't actually seen a launch event yet, which I really should have if I was gonna even introduce the topic about that. But
From what I hear,
yeah,
you can't get a hold of them.
yeah. So
Yep.
at least in Japan right now, it's just how it is. I think if that's just how this country is gonna be from now on. But anything that launches new, you're not gonna get your hand on it unless you're extra lucky or you're willing to pay like double the price.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
fuck ton of money.
Instantly, it's just fucking gone. Amazon prices are at like $3,500 right now. Launch price is at $500. That's 7 times the price. Yeah, 7.
I think it's called price scraping or reselling, but
Yeah.
people who get a hold of it because they have a little bit of like free money. What do you call it?
Well, it's not even
Liquid
little bit of
assets.
money. Like literally, if you're even if you don't have a if you're like a free time like a part time worker only, and you have like
Yeah.
say $300 is 300 that's a little I guess $300.
Enough for a
um,
console.
It doesn't even need to be a console. If it's like a new releasing figurine or something in Japan, you have $300. You could afford to buy two. You buy two. You sell it for zero point 0.5 the price. You end up with a profit of quote unquote three figures when you were only able to buy two in the beginning. You buy three more. You know, it's a loop of that. You keep on getting more money, and it's a fucking dumb idea that works. And it sucks. It sucks that it works because it kind of shows that Amazon and Nintendo and like Bandai, I guess, is not really doing anything about it. You know, when literally
It's forced scarcity.
all they have to do is limit the amount of purchase to like up to two per household, I guess. Like, you know, say you have a sibling, like a Switch, you know, 2 or 3. You're probably not gonna buy 10. You're not gonna have 10 siblings.
No one
you know?
needs like 10.
Yeah.
10 of a console.
In before one person who actually does need to buy 10 because he donates it to 10 different orphanages. Sorry, dude. You'll just have to buy 10 different things from 10 different stores
I mean, like,
separately.
at that point, like, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I should try to figure out how these guys are buying it. Like, I'm pretty sure they're just using bots and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Download the bots, get a hold of however the much I could buy, sell it for the base price just to fucking spite with those people, you know? Yeah, it's just like, you know what? If they're not gonna get it for the base price, just let me buy it out. And like, I would honestly do that if I had the money. Like, just to say fuck you, you know?
This isn't for the PS5, but actually the 3080 Ti
Yeah.
that we were talking about. One dude, he's setting up bots to go onto the eBay auctions for the people who are already setting up the scalping, and he's botting them to insane inflated prices like 20K.
Oh yeah.
But the transaction won't go through,
That's actually
so
smart.
the scammers won't get paid. So yeah, this is like, you know, it's technically illegal, but also what they're doing is illegal too.
So
So it's like just justice.
you're basically being the quote unquote Dark Knight of the online shopping. You're being the Batman of the online shopping world.
Vigilante justice.
I don't know why. Like, just don't be a dick, please. Come on, there's people that just genuinely wants to enjoy their gaming, and then you just have to go and flip the fucking price and fuck the whole market up. You know?
That's how I feel with the fucking in-game market for MapleStory right now. But I'm not gonna talk about that.
I still can't fucking buy a Switch because of that.
Yeah.
I have never intended to buy a Switch. But I think it's mostly just because I am super reluctant to just look at what Switch has to offer.
Switch has.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to play the new Monster Hunter World game. Not the world, the new Monster Hunter game, and I am looking into like other games to buy. I mostly do want it to buy it to play older titles on the go, like BioShock and those games. Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 is on it, so I do want to play those. I think Dark Souls 1's on it too, so
Wow.
mostly just
It's
like
got a good title repertoire.
yeah, it's like one like a generation old games. A lot of those are on the Switch, so and plus like
Right.
Witcher 3, it's a game I intend to like play one day. It has cross save on the cloud, so you could play on a PC and you could play on a Switch, and then it'll like keep the save files consistently. So
Right, one account for everything.
yeah,
That's pretty good. I, until Corona, had lost interest in Nintendo. Like, nothing was doing it for me. But then Animal Crossing, which is one of my, like, that was one of the first games to play. Like, Pokemon, even before Pokemon, I was playing Animal Crossing. And then, Mystery Dungeons, Pokemon Mystery Dungeons Deluxe. That's also, like, I actually have more fun with Mystery Dungeons than I have with the regular Pokemon series. So I became interested, but Nintendo like premium prices, if it were like $150 for a console.
yeah, that's
like-
what sucked. That's what I thought Nintendo fucked up when the Switch first came out. Is that they basically said they're killing the handheld device. I guess Switch is a handheld
Right.
device, but it's a hybrid between console and handheld because,
Like
spec
the Nintendo
wise,
DS series.
yeah,
getting
spec wise, it's not,
discontinued.
it's not even. I think it's like PS3, but some aspects better, some aspects worse. So at first I was like, if it's like $150 3DS, you could get, if you have a sibling in your house, you could get two for 300, and they won't get in a fight of who gets the Switch. But
You could even play together
yeah,
in certain games.
I mean, granted you have to buy two of the same games, but
Yeah,
uh,
but that's not as hard as getting one console for the family, like
Yeah.
500, and then being
and
able
then
to
like
play one at a
growing
time.
up, say like your kid still likes the game when they grow up, so like they want to bring their Switch along with them, but if it's a family Switch, then you really can't do that with a lot of different accounts and a lot of different games installed. You have less space for certain games, and there's a whole problem being sharing one console like with the family versus having your own console. So
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like Nintendo at first fucked it up, but then they introduced the Switch Lite, which is like $200. A little bit more
it's like
expensive
a
than
good
like
compromise.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're just giving it to your kid, it's a completely fine console. And if you're an adult or like a high schooler, and if you want your own Switch, you can still buy your own Switch. I don't think it's as big as a deal, because like if you're a high schooler and you want a Switch, I feel like it's not gonna be a family thing. You ask your parents for like a Switch for a Christmas present or birthday present. I think it's gonna be your Switch. But yeah, I mean,
Sounds
looking
great.
now. Oh yeah, technically speaking of which, I don't know. Handheld gaming is completely dead right now. Did you know that? There's no handheld game that's being made right now.
I didn't know that.
Like they stopped production on the Nintendo 3DS, which officially ended
Oh yeah.
the ongoing handheld games that's being produced right now.
Is
If
it
you're
like
counting
in September or?
No, it was like 2 days ago.
So it's already cut off.
Yeah, it's. I
No,
mean,
no
like
more.
there's probably gonna. They probably still have like you know, stock, but they just
Right.
stopped making it. So.
It's
Yeah.
discontinued from that one.
And like, cause literally for our generation of kids, like I don't know about you guys, but me growing up with all the handheld, like I started off with the Game Boy Color, went on with the Game Boy to the SP, to the DS Lite, to the DSi, to the 3DS.
You're making me jealous, man. I asked Santa Claus for a Game Boy Color, and they got me a electric piano instead.
Nice.
And then the year after, I
I
got
feel like an
the
electric
Nintendo
piano might
DS.
be a more expensive though.
No, it was like a Casio like starter 100 something from like Toys R Us, I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, that probably just has to do with that. My dad's also a game person, so
He's in the subculture.
yeah. We were
Like,
we had a
yeah.
PSP, and I personally had a PS Vita, but I think we never really played too much with the PSP. I mean, I played on the PS Vita a little bit, but I have two PS Vita. I'm lending one to one of my friends right now, but yeah, I was kind of sad that the PS Vita flopped because it was such a nice console, and it had
Didn't
like
do major sales in Japan.
uh, it did. I think it did decent in Japan. Just didn't do well outside of Japan because like a lot of
Right.
games for the PS Vita was like visual novel related shit. So yeah, I'm just sad. Like,
Which now has a huge audience, but
yeah, because it had a potential with like the PS4 Connect where you were able to use the PS Vita as the controller and as a screen and connect it to PS4, so you could like have a dual screen, a 1v1 situation where you only needed one console or something like that, if you actually engineered it correctly. So, yeah, I don't know. PS Vita had potential definitely, and it's gone. One console I do want to get my hands on is a PSP Go though. I want to get that and just like crack a bunch of PSP games and play it on Go. It's just such a cool looking console. Oh, yeah.
PSP Go.
Yeah, it's like a weird flip PSP.
Oh.
It's super small. It's like a flip phone sized.
Interesting.
Yeah. If I could find one for like $100, I'd definitely still buy it. Growing up playing a lot of games, we probably encountered a lot of boss fights.
Oh boy, do
Was,
I love boss fights.
Oh boy, do I not remember any of them?
Do you, relatively generally speaking, do you find boss fights good or bad?
I'd say good.
Depending on
Like-
it all depends on the game, but yeah, they are good for the most part because they always add that extra layer to the game that isn't just the normal level progression and mobbing.
Yeah.
You know what's one thing I'm so glad that all the newer games got rid of, like a trope
What?
that I don't know why even existed: unskippable cutscenes before boss fights.
Oh yeah.
So you're
Yeah, that
stuck
shit's
there
annoying.
fighting the same boss over and over again. You know, you have to fucking listen to the same goddamn
Just get
annoying
good and don't
voice
die.
line. And you're just like, oh, you're frustrating me enough already. Stop taunting me like that.
I think I had the worst experience with those in like JRPGs, like
Yeah, like,
Dragon Quest.
I was replaying. I was not. Well, I guess replaying, but it was the first time I finished the game. I was playing Kingdom Hearts 1, and one of the boss fights. It only took me like 3 times, but like the cutscene before that is like literally 5 minutes long. I was like, oh my god, I have to listen to this again. And the boss battle itself is kind of tedious too. So
Yeah.
it gets annoying.
How about you, Don?
I mean, I so I don't have to say much. I just feel like of the games that I play that have boss battles, be it like Sekiro, Dark Souls, or even fucking Maple Story, like most of the bosses, as long as they're not using as long as their difficulty isn't an artificial bracket that's like, hey, you have to use this sort of item, build, and or playstyle to beat this boss.
Monster Hunter.
Then I'm fine with. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing: is with Alatrion, I've appreciated Alatrion's boss mechanics a little bit more because it forces me to use weapons that I normally don't use because I'm always just the type of player that goes, hey, let's just pump out as much raw fucking damage as possible. So it's just like, alright, now that I'm forced to use ice or fire weapons, I actually get to look at the other weapons in the game.
I guess for those kind of players, because for me, I don't really go for maximum damage. I usually just go for like, all right, for this guy, he's weak to ice. What can I build with ice that looks cool? So
Yeah.
I mean, I'll try to get like a decent amount of damage out of it, but I don't really go for the maximum damage I could do.
But yeah, at least
Min-maxing.
with bosses like Alatran, where you have to, it is possible to do it without using any elemental damage. It's just much harder. So that's like boss. That type of boss I'm fine with, and then there are just bosses where it's just like, hey, you like, if you can't do this or that, you are fucked. And that's the funny thing in Maple Story. There's this quest line where once you're at level 275, which is like the highest level in the game, you're able to do this quest line called the Genesis quest line. But it's also really hard to unlock because it means you have to take on like about 5 endgame bosses completely soloed as well, and your damage is also gimped. And the problem with that is that because of how Maple Story works as a game, some you can imagine some classes hit more times within a given attack than others. Like, some bosses have these mechanics called of damage caps, which means like no matter how high your damage is against this boss or a certain mob, your damage will always be limited to a certain number. So in order to deal effective damage to those types of mobs or bosses, you need a class that hits a lot. Which means if you're a class that just doesn't have a lot of hit counts, you're just completely fucked. So
one-shot builds don't work.
yeah, characters like basically any stereotypical character archetype of hit slow but hit hard, like they can't do shit. So that's nice.
MMOs have really interesting, like, there's like things that they have to focus and tune for, whereas regular just single player RPGs don't have to work around.
MMORPG bosses are easily one of the hardest bosses to balance around. If you want them to be hard, you have to make sure that it's hard for everyone and not like specifically a certain type of class or player. Like it's fine when you have bosses that are designed to be like raid bosses, so you go in with a party of certain players, and the boss incentivizes that you have like a bishop or a healer or a class that can deal with a particular niche in that boss fight. But then,
Right.
you can't have that same type of mentality of designing a boss that a player can only take on solo, and if their class just can't fulfill the niche, that's just bad design by default.
Kind of, it really kind of shows how I don't remember the names, but the Monster Hunter boss fight we were just talking about does really draw in from more MMO type stuff.
Yeah, it's very much
the traditional.
Altreon is very much the closest we can get to like an MMORPG style raid boss type of boss.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, I don't mind in itself, but it just kind of came out of the left field when it first came out.
Yeah.
And thank God internet exists, because like I think a lot of the games right now, problem with a lot of games right now, I think, is that if the internet doesn't exist, a lot of the part will take too long to figure out for a lot of the more casual
It's
gamers.
because of the internet's existence that players can actually complete certain games.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think a lot of times the main game you could probably complete, but like a lot of the side quest stuff, like I'm playing Batman Arkham Knight right now. A lot of the Riddler stuff, for me at least, is like, it's a little bit because the game itself is still kind of janky some part, but the Riddler trophy part are looking. So one of the things is you have to scan stuff to solve a trophy or a riddle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I literally found an answer. I'm scanning it 10 times. I'm like, well, this isn't it, huh? So I go look online, and it is that. I was like, what the fuck is this what's the problem then? I take a step backwards and scan it, and it works.
Oh my god!
Like, imagine not having the internet. Like, you would give up thinking that's actually not
The game is broken.
Dude,
I
it's
quit.
it's one of those walls that you reach in a game, and then it's just like you're spending minutes to hours trying to figure this out, and then you just look up online, and some idiot and some dude just with one comment says, "Have you tried using a shield?" Or some shit like that. It's like, just buy some green potions from the merchant in the main town. You'll be fine. Or the best thing, it's the best version of this type of issue is when like players kept complaining about Nergigante's dive bomb mechanic, and then everyone's just like, just Superman dive, you'll avoid the entire thing. And it really is just as simple as pressing the dodge key, but this time you just run away from Nergigante. Oh my god!
I mean, I feel like the Monster Hunter example we just put up is like one of those things that we could probably like solve if you put enough time into it. But like literally the Batman riddles part, I was kind of like sitting there like for 2 minutes thinking like, if internet really didn't exist, I probably would have never got this because I would have gave up.
It's almost like an Easter egg at that point.
I'm just scanning this thing so many times, and it's telling me it's not. It's like, oh yeah, there's nothing here. It's like,
think about like the Yorm the Giant boss fight in Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, dude.
Imagine doing that and not reading the fucking messages on the ground that's in the middle of the boss room.
Because I was streaming Dark Souls 3 with one of my friends. I never got to finish it, but at Yorm's part. And then she was all like, "Wait, how the fuck are you supposed to kill that giant?" I was like, "Well, you'll see." And like,
and then
literally,
they
if
still
you don't
didn't
know
figure it out.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I was the one that's playing it. She was the one watching it, so.
Oh, okay.
Like I was kind of like playing around at first, just kind of like hitting it with the sword you still get. It's like, yeah, you get this sword and you're supposed to kill it with the sword, and I was joking and hitting Yorm with it several times.
Oh my god.
And it's like that's still like no damage though. I was like, don't worry about it. Well, like that. The first time I played it, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known what to do with it either. So, because I think I went in completely blind the first playthrough with Dark Souls 3, which made it hard.
I don't remember my first playthrough. I think the problem for me was that when Dark Souls 3 first came out, I had no intentions of buying it. or playing it at
Yeah.
all, right?
It's so weird because isn't it like I got it? You were at my house and I
Yeah, yeah.
got it. And you're like,
I was at your house and you were just like, "Oh, hey, look, Dark Souls 3 is on sale," and I was just like, "All right, fuck it, sure."
because I think I've always had an intention of getting Dark Souls 3 because I played Dark Souls 2 on the PS3. That thing on the PS3's loading time. One of the stages took me 43 minutes to load in.
Oh my god.
What the
It
hell?
was just faulty hard drive, but
But yeah, for me, like, I didn't plan on buying or playing Dark Souls 3, so one of the YouTubers I was watching, like, they were doing a playthrough of the game, and then and then it was just like, yeah, I don't know if I'll play this game, but I'll watch them play it, and then that's how, like, just watching them play it, and then I'm just like, it subconsciously in the back of my mind when I'm playing Dark Souls 3 at your house, I'm just like, all right, now I have a vague idea of what not to do.
well, you probably have a whole genre of games that you probably wouldn't have played and enjoyed if it wasn't for that to think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe
No,
you
I'm
would've
sure
bought it down the
I'm
line,
sure
but-
there are like countless games that I've looked at and told myself I can't imagine myself playing it, but if the game ever fell into my lap, I would play it, type of thing. And
So Dark Souls is one of that though. Then.
the thing is that I say this, and then I still haven't touched Nier Automata.
Nier, Nier. I played a little bit of Nier, but it's like a more complete open worlds. So like it turned me off a little bit. I'm not saying Nier's a bad game, because I haven't even finished it yet. But I was expecting more linear, kind of like Dark Souls type game.
Yeah, but it's just like,
Since-
but it's just ironic that I say, hey, if the game fell into my lap, if a game that I never thought I'd play fell into my lap, I'd play it and probably enjoy it, and then it's just like, oh right, Nier Automata is a game that I was gifted. Whoops.
It took me over a year to play it too, because Jose gifted it to me, and I still haven't finished it either. I have an intention to finish it, but I was like, shit, I should probably finish games I was mid playing first, so that's why I'm finishing
Dude,
them right
I
now.
still haven't even touched the Halo Master Chief Collection, and that's like a series of games that I've been dying to play, but it's just like I haven't given myself the ability to like just press the fucking play button.
My only exposure to Halo is actually at my childhood friend's place, and then one time at a party, and I've never been into it.
I think I've never played Halo before.
Dude, good old LAN parties of Halo, or when your friend brings over their console to like your place or some shit like that. Oh my god.
My buddy had like an extra controller, handed it to me, and it's like, okay, that stick is to move, that stick is to like look around, this is to shoot. Good luck.
Yeah, just good luck.
Yeah, our shit was always like Smash Brothers or fighting games. Yeah, so like fighting, like speaking of boss battles and fighting games though, fighting games definitely have one of the toughest boss battles in my opinion. I think it's to a degree of broken.
I can't even
honestly.
imagine.
Oh yeah, fighting game bosses? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fighting game has an extra boss stage at the end, where it's just like you could breeze through the whole game. I mean, like the single player quote unquote campaign, with basically no problem at all. Like that was me with Tekken 7. Like I had a little bit hiccups here and there, but you know, it's just me getting back.
And then
into
once you
fighting
reach
games
the
back then.
boss, it's just like a fucking bot that reads
It
all
took
your
me
shit.
4 hours. It took me 4 hours to kill the fucking boss because I was
You have
playing
to
at like
actually know combos. and
I wasn't
shit.
I wasn't at the highest difficulty, but I was playing at I think second or third second highest difficulty. And like it was the first time I was playing with a stick arcade fight too. Like I was used to a controller, but I was like that's when I first got my arcade stick. So I was playing through the game with that. The second time I played it, it wasn't as hard because I think I was definitely more used to stick in the game itself. But holy fuck, I mean it's challenging. But after the 3 hour mark, every single time the fucking you know how the fighting game has like the quote, kind of like they say like a quote in the beginning and they taunt you. And
Oh yeah,
shit.
they introduce you.
I'm like trying hard not to punch the fucking screen. It's like I get it. You're fucking broken. Holy shit. And the moment that came when I finally beat it, it was so satisfying. But at the same time, I was like, I'm never fucking doing this again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because like playing that, Donovan, do you honestly think Dark Souls is a hard game?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
all about pattern recognition.
It's like it's
The
all about
thing is
pattern
that a well
recognition.
designed quote Souls like game is that a boss's attacks are never truly random. There's always a tell, and there's always like an indication of what it's going to do and how it's going to do it. And
Yeah, yeah,
because of how the game is designed, like they always have some pattern of some sort. So it's just like, hey, if a boss initiates attacks you with this type of attack, it means they're going to do these types of attacks next, type of deal.
yeah. When I was going through my playthrough, like back in May, the thing that I found more annoying was not the bosses, but when you accidentally let a mob just kind of like if you have like 3 or 4 enemies around you, you're basically fucking dead at that point. Kind of deal, you know? Because it's not like a random attack or anything, but it's a constant like a hit. So you're kind of like in a stun lock.
Yep.
But yeah, Dark Souls like never. I mean, like the first playthrough was tough, yeah, but it wasn't like annoyingly hard.
Yeah.
So,
It's
but I
definitely.
do like there's still some boss that I do find annoyingly hard. But I think the playthrough I did recently, most bosses I went through within like 1 or 2 tries, with the exception of I think, what's that fucking like the prince? I think it's a prince with that like
The
weird
Twin
torso,
Princess.
weird. No. It's the one at the very end of the Lothar Castle. Oh no, not the Lothar Castle. Ethereal. Fuck. It's the one with the
Gwyn-
staff and like
Gwendolyn?
the.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think so.
Aldrich. There we go.
Aldrich,
the
yeah.
Devourer.
The one that shoots you with the fucking rain.
Yeah,
Uh,
raining arrows. Yep. Yep.
yeah. That's the only boss I hate in that game, but
I feel like
otherwise,
I feel like
yeah.
with how I played Dark Souls, like a lot of the time on my first playthrough, I was just super over leveled. Like
Yeah, that is true.
I'm pretty sure. Um, I mean, as far as like the fucking wiki goes, it's just like the you should be reaching like Soul of Cinder by at like around the level 80 area.
Hmm.
I finished the game at like level 167 or something. And I was just like, okay,
Jesus.
this might. Okay, holy fuck.
Just flex on the weaklings.
Which also meant that at that point, by that point, I was in. After I did the first playthrough and I did like several more after, I was on like new game, plus 6 maybe. Yeah, I was on New Game Plus 6. And this was all before the Ringed City DLC came out. And then when that first came out, of course, because I was on New Game Plus 6, I was playing the most late game DLC or content of the game at an absurd difficulty level, so it just made me feel like, wow, everything that I am doing is completely useless.
So, quick tip: if a new Dark Souls game ever come out, or Souls, like a From Software Souls game come out, after you beat your first gameplay, if you buy it right when it releases and there's no DLC for it, copy that file, keep it at New Game Plus One. Don't if you're gonna play, go up to like NG plus 7 or
Yeah,
something.
if
like
you're
that,
gonna if you're gonna go do an NG plus 8 type of save, make sure it's not your only save.
you're gonna regret that hard. Because I think that when the DLC came out, I was my save file was a U game plus 2, but then it got corrupted, so I had to redo it again. So that
Ooh.
saved my ass. But dude, Dark Souls 3's save file, I had so much problem with that. I think I got like hacked once.
I think I'm
with,
still banned from Dark Souls 3 on my main
Oh,
Steam
really?
account. I still,
Oh,
I,
yikes.
I probably could get unbanned. It's just that I haven't tried to appeal it.
So yeah, the only thing I had to do was completely delete all Dark Souls related file off my PC, and then let like From Software, I guess, launch Dark Souls after that. So like a completely fresh new install, and then they'll be like, all right, you don't have anything, but you're still banned. You have this much date, and then you'll be unbanned, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was kind of off of Dark Souls for like half a year because of that too.
And then that's why I started the Steam parent account type of thing, so I can actually play Dark Souls.
Boss battles are like, I guess boss battles are a unique part of a game where sometimes
Just
I think recent games are kind of, boss battles aren't as like satisfying to beat anymore in a sense. Like I mean, at the same time, I haven't really played a game with like a actual boss battle.
as far as I can tell, like when it comes
Yeah.
to recent games that have like your typical boss battle, I like, you know, just a fucking enemy that has its own special mechanic, its own health bar and whatnot.
A
Like,
1v1.
I mean, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
a 1v1. It could. I'm
But
just
I
saying,
feel
it's
like-
just like it's not a regular enemy type of deal. Like a lot of, I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of them nowadays have gotten a little gimmicky.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is like, I feel like a lot of the boss battle nowadays is not really you hit the boss, but you lead the boss to like an environmental damage thing, or like, you know, that kind of thing.
It's less
So
so.
not-
It's less so a test of your skill or skill with your character. It's just so much how can you just exploit the game.
So it's like, I think a lot of games nowadays is like, I think especially with Batman, when I'm playing right now, is that one of the boss battles is literally you drive through a tunnel and you lead your enemy to like a bomb field, and that's how you damage it. It's not really a skill. It's just, you know, you have
It's
to
just a
drive.
gimmick,
And that's
yeah.
it. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I'm very much missing those Dark Souls type boss battle, but at the same time, I think like most Dark Souls type games, boss battle are kind of like if you're playing Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, you know, it's a different game, but it has the same vibe to it. You know, it's not
Mhm.
like you're playing, you know, a Batman game with like a proper boss battle where you hit them, dodge, and then parry and stuff. So,
Yep.
which I think the first game still had, but yeah, playing Arkham Knight doesn't really have that much. That much.
Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arkham Knight's a fun game, but I
Mhm.
think it's a little bit glitchy sometimes. The control's clunky for sure. The Arkham series, I think the control's a little clunky. Like, it's smooth, but it's awkwardly clunky at the same time because it's smooth.
That's fair.
It's so weird to explain, but because like a is bound to so many different things. Like
Oh.
if you want to like interact with something, you accidentally like fucking sprint or roll away from it or something like that. There's a lot of that, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyways, I think that's good enough for this week. Let's wrap it up. Well, this has been a topic about some mostly gaming this week.
Game shit.
Which we're probably gonna expand
Yeah.
a little bit more on game stuff and other stuff too.
We'll see what happens during the week.
Yeah. So yeah, expect us to talk about stuff, other stuff too, I guess.
Somebody fund my 3080 Ti. No, I'm just kidding.
Somebody
Start
just
an OnlyFans,
listen
dude.
and comment.
Start
we
OnlyFans.
want people. What the fuck do you want to see in our
Toe
OnlyFans
pics.
show?
Just
Yes.
toes.
My mutated two toes. Oh, not two toes, two
Oh
toenails.
god.
My mutated double toe.
The
Uh,
double toe.
Anyways, let's wrap that up. It
Yeah,
has been,
that's a weird place to end it, but
We don't talk about that.
this is a Nihongo Portal with Akira,
And I'm Donovan.
and David,
and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
mata ne.
Yeet.